Do you guys remember where you were when you first found out that Dragon was Luffy's father? How did you feel? How did you absorb that information? Did it make sense? Did you at some point question, oh my gosh, does that mean that Dragon is Ace's dad as well? Because I thought of that. The Monkey D family. Monkey D. Luffy, Monkey D. Garp, Monkey D. Dragon. 3 characters that are prominent figures in the One Piece world, but 3 very different paths. 2 we don't know that much about. 1 we're still figuring things out. But of course, you know, the main character, Monkey D. Luffy. So before we get back to Luffy and Dragon, today it is time to let you know that this video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN, and you should probably know that they are an award-winning virtual private network. Now, as avid users of the internet via shopping online and even streaming, we're exposed to several threats we may not realize. The purpose of a VPN is to protect you from these unknown threats by masking or hiding your IP address and denying these sneaky infiltrators access to your country, location, and even your download history. With Surfshark, you can bypass censorship, which can be prevalent in select countries, and also find better prices online via different locations. So to protect yourself while doing so from one account, because one account covers unlimited household devices, use code B.D.A for 83% off and 3 extra months free. If you're okay with being vulnerable, fine. But if you want to protect yourself and your information, use the link below and sign up for Surfshark. Today I want to talk about that dynamic. Where it is, where it's going, and I think the inevitable end, depending on what Dragon wants to do. Dragon is the key factor here. But I think another key factor is you subscribing to the channel for more content like this. If you enjoy it, of course, drop a like. I would certainly appreciate that. But let's continue with this dynamic of the Monkey D family. First off, this is the weirdest shit I've ever seen in anime, where we have 3 characters, all family, but they are completely different, on completely different sides, but never really directly opposing each other. And even when they do, they're really not opposing each other. Okay, so maybe I'm exaggerating because this has happened in anime before. Not necessarily 3 levels. I'm thinking of Attack on Titan with Grisha. Okay, I almost spoiled, but it's pretty unique. I think Luffy's relationship with the others are interesting. For the most part, his relationship with Dragon is non-existent, and the relationship with his grandfather at this point is not as active. The ASL flashback was a godsend. I mean, before then, we know Garp was the one who raised him, threw him into the jungle, did a bunch of things to toughen him up and, believe it or not, prepare him to be a Marine. Of course, Luffy didn't turn out to be a Marine because of Akagami, right here Shanks. But Garp, who is the hero of the Marines, has a grandson who is a very prominent pirate, and Garp's son is Monkey D. Dragon, the leader of the Revolutionary Army. So here's a secret I gotta tell you guys. Before Marineford, something that I always questioned was how would Garp, Dragon, and Luffy interact, and what is the future of this relationship? Do we ever see them come face to face, like with all of them in the same room? Because that dialogue I would be interested to see. We've never seen any real quirks from Dragon, but I'm sure he has some because the Monkey Ds, I mean the Ds in general, they're a bit quirky, right? But I was always interested in the future of this relationship. We know Garp and Dragon talk. Garp said as much post Enies Lobby, so it's like, okay, they have a cordial relationship even though they're on opposite sides. Garp is a high-ranking member of the Marines. Dragon is the leader of the Revolutionary Army trying to overthrow not the Marines, but the Celestial Dragons. And I think that's why Garp can have a conversation with Dragon, because he's not necessarily trying to break the system. He's trying to remove the Celestial Dragons so that they can have somewhat an honest governing body. Right now, the Marines move off of what the Celestial Dragons want, and that's pretty much based off of what the Gorosei want. And if you go a step up, that's based off of what Imu wants. So in a way, Garp and Dragon, their goals align because Garp does not give a damn about the Celestial Dragons. He hates them. He understands what they mean to the world and how much they've corrupted the world. And every time I think of corruption and the Celestial Dragons, I think of Sabaody, the slave trade, but I also think of Eustace Captain Kidd, where he talks about them being criminals and how they pale in comparison to the destructive nature of the Celestial Dragons, where they're truly evil people and they only care about themselves. And it's crazy, right? Because the Celestial Dragons are so terrible. They created a monster like Doflamingo. Granted, it's because he wanted to go back and they said no, but they created that monster. There have been theories going around saying that Garp is just an insider for the Revolutionary Army and that this whole spat between him and Dragon is not real, where he's basically providing information and he's an informant for Dragon. I don't think so. I think Garp has way more integrity than that. Of course, he marches to the beat of his own drum, but I don't think he would ever funnel information to Dragon that he doesn't share with others as a way of being a spy for the Revolutionary Army. I don't think Garp works that way. I think Garp is very very blunt, straightforward. They know what he thinks, they know what he wants, and that's explained why he remained a vice admiral. He doesn't want to be at the beck and call of the celestial dragons, and he enjoys his freedom, and mostly he doesn't give a damn about them. Again, I've always wondered if they came on opposite sides, would Dragon ever fight Garp, or would Garp ever fight Dragon? But also you think about what drove Dragon to create the Revolutionary Army. The popular thing is that, something happened to Garp's wife, who is Dragon's mom, via the celestial dragons. That's why Dragon hates them, and that's why Garp hates them, because they killed his wife and they killed Dragon's mother. And because Garp didn't take any immediate action, basically wreaking havoc on the world government, Dragon decided to take it into his own hands and started to lead this revolution, which would eventually lead to the upheaval of the celestial dragons. But that seems a bit too radical. Like, if something happened to Dragon's mother and Garp just stood by and didn't do anything, I don't know if they would ever be able to have a cordial conversation. And it was cordial enough where Dragon said to Garp, hey, I saw Luffy in Logtown. So I'm a bit skeptical about that theory. However, in the flashback, whether we get it from Garp's perspective or Dragon's perspective, is going to reveal some information, some very pertinent information to let us know where the Monkey D family went wrong. I'm sure all that Garp wanted was for Dragon to be a Marine, and he wanted the same for Luffy. But some people always mention Garp seems to forget that he is a D. So the D somewhat conspiring with the celestial dragons, it's a bit weird because they are the natural enemy of the gods. How could they coexist? So even Garp and his existence, it's a contradiction, or rather his occupation. Even Jaguar D. Saul, working for the world government that's controlled by the celestial dragons, it's not the appropriate place for a D. But then let's talk about the future. Garp hints towards it, talking about the world and how it's going to change and how nobody can really stop what's coming. And we've already seen some changes, right? The abolishment of the warlord system. I was always hoping for a declaration of war by Dragon at the Reverie. Didn't happen. Even though the revolutionaries were there and they did wreak some havoc, Dragon, the leader that we all wanted to see, did not even show up. But in regards to the future, we all presume that Luffy will find the One Piece, and the One Piece has something to do with bringing the world together. Luffy's ultimate goal is obviously finding the One Piece, but what does freedom look like to these three individuals? For Garp, freedom means total control by the world government without the celestial dragons looming over them. And freedom also means for him doing whatever he wants to do because he can roam around as a vice admiral. For Dragon, freedom means to him the world government operating via an honest system where the people of the world have help, have an actual chance, and they're not being taxed to death by the greedy celestial dragons. So he wants an honest government. Luffy, his idea of freedom is basically doing whatever the hell he wants to do. Garp and Dragon's goals align. For Luffy, do they really? For instance, Luffy's a pirate. Even after the revolutionaries get rid of the celestial dragons, the world government will still exist. The Marines will still exist. At that point, Dragon doesn't have anything else to do. The revolution has been completed. The celestial dragons are gone. For Garp, mission complete. For Dragon, mission complete. For Luffy, it doesn't really change much because he still wants to be free. He still wants to operate on the seas, doing whatever he wants to do. That's why I love that they clarified what they were trying to do. Them being Bello Betty, Koala, members of the Revolutionary Army saying, we do not want to overturn the government. We just want to get rid of the celestial dragons. They are the problem. So in that final war that will ultimately be fought by Sabo, Luffy, Dragon, going against the world government because the Marines, they have to protect the celestial dragons, the goals will temporarily align. Get rid of Imusama. But even after this war, Luffy will still be wanted. Piracy will still be outlawed. You cannot legalize piracy. Even with the upheaval of the world government and bringing in Marines that have integrity like Kobe and Fujitora and Smoker, piracy is still wrong because 99% of pirates are not like Luffy. More pirates are like Kid than like Luffy. So then, Garp, what is your decision? If Luffy gets caught by Kobe and he's to be executed, I'm assuming Garp is still alive by then, would he do the same thing? Something we always question is whether or not Garp would have done the same thing for Luffy if he was the one in the situation Ace was in. Would he have sat down next to him and said, you should have done what I asked? Or would Garp have taken action? Very interesting stuff. But I think in regards to this family, what I absolutely love is that they're all free in their own ways. Garp is obviously a member of the Marines, but he's free. He does whatever he wants to do. And they can't do anything because he has so much clout. He's done so much already. He's vested. For Dragon, he's trying to overturn the world government and he's doing it on his own terms, his own way, with his own organization. That's his idea of freedom. Even when Luffy set out, he said, a pirate, huh? That's okay too. Where he approves of Luffy's journey. And Luffy's the ultimate freedom fighter. That's all he wants. Food, freedom, family. Well, friends. That's what Luffy cares about. And so as a contradiction as this family dynamic is, it works because they're ultimately staying true to their names. Monkey D Dragon, Monkey D Luffy, and Monkey D. Garp. Easily the best family in One Piece. We do worry about Luffy's mom. What happened to her? Will she ever make an appearance? Oda did answer a question at some point saying that Luffy at this point, you know, once he leaves the nest, he's a man and you focus on the man. So I doubt we ever see Luffy's mom. And again, mothers in One Piece, they die. So more than likely Luffy's mom is dead. But guys, give me your thoughts. How do you feel about this family dynamic? What do you think the first thing they're gonna do once they're in a room together? And are you looking forward to it? But guys, give me your thoughts. Make sure to like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BroggerDAce. Follow me on Instagram at BroggerD.ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Guys, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost. I rewrite it.